Welcome to CEO Money. This is Todd Rowan filling in for Michael Yorba. And this is Crypto Week here on CEO Money. Today I've got a great show. We're going to be doing a little roundtable to educate you on cryptocurrency and what's going on in the marketplace. Here with me today I have Gary Leland, which should be on the line with us. I have Tony Cecala in the studio with us, and Denis ONeil here with me. So before we get started here, I want to let you know that this show is sponsored by rewards.com and rewardstoken.io. We are running a little bit of a contest for you guys today. It is a 500 rewards tokens for 5 days here. All you got to do is catch the secret word during the show, so make sure you listen up for that. So I want to get started here, guys, and talk about the crypto market. I've been having a lot of questions about, blockchain, cryptocurrency, what it means, how, does it affect me personally? How does it affect my business? How does it affect the community? So I want to, do a little roundtable and talk to you guys and, get your perspective. And I know, Denis, you're with Disrupt Hub, which is a local community here in Dallas. You're talking and educating people on cryptocurrency all the time. And Tony is here with Crypto Cousins, and they're on a mission to educate people about cryptocurrency and what it means in the marketplace. So, with that, let's start. Denis, what do you think? Why, if I'm a consumer in the marketplace, why do I care about cryptocurrency or blockchain? How's it going to impact my life?
Well, as I say in my presentations on disrupthub.io, the first thing we have to realize is we are U.S. citizens. So we have the U.S. dollar. We have centralized databases that are rock solid, backed by great companies. So we have to kind of think a little bit more globally when you start to understand the impact that this has. And if I can make a comment here, I hear oftentimes that cryptocurrency and blockchain is really like the Beanie Babies and tulips and the .com bust. I will tell you, it is more like the printing press. That is how much of an impact blockchain will have on humankind. But again, as a U.S. citizen, we're saying, well, I have my ATM card. What's that? So you really have to go beyond that. And I actually have the first paragraph, first couple of sentences that was developed by the original creator of Bitcoin, which was Satoshi Nakamoto. He wrote a white paper in 2008. Everybody should really just Google this, the white paper by Satoshi Nakamoto, and read it. It's about, I think it's 8 pages.
It's eight pages long. It's very short, but it's brilliant.
It is brilliant. It is so simple and elegant. It's incredible. So I thought, probably the first couple of sentences probably says what this is all about. He says, commerce on the internet, and I'll paraphrase a little, commerce on the internet has come to rely almost exclusively on trusted third parties to process payments and so on. While the system works well enough for most transactions, it still suffers from the inherent weaknesses of the trust-based model. Let me translate that. Eliminate the middleman, decentralize, trust the wisdom of the crowd. This is really what it is. And Bitcoin, if you think about it, is really it was the alpha product for blockchain. And it is still running. Nobody on Bitcoin's blockchain, which is in essence, the blockchain is a database of transactions, is never been hacked. It's never had to be backed up, never had to be reorged, defragged, all of those things that occur in all enterprise databases.
Right.
So these are the things I think we need to think about.
Denis, that's a great opportunity to think about Satoshi's words, because Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever Satoshi was, because he's an anonymous person, we don't know if it's a man, a woman, or a group of people, brought to the world a new technology, like you said, like the printing press. Some even would say it is the greatest technology that we have seen since fire. I mean, because money goes way, way back, and the idea of money is so we can transact among a community. Now, the word community is, something, a local network of people. Yeah, we can do pretty much with any kind of money.
Well, this is very much in a global sense.
In a global sense,
right.
How can we transact across the world, across borders, with a money that is sound, money that you can take with you across borders and not be concerned about it being seized by a third party, not being counterfeited or seized, and the ability for cryptocurrencies to create this sound money that can't really be, as you said, hacked, is a new thing on the planet. And that's what we're still coming to understand.
It's really much more than money and currencies. I see a lot of projects that are going to affect everyday life. In fact, all types of things, the way we manage information to the way we communicate with each other, the way we transact with each other. My favorite, how we consume our reward points and our loyalty currency and how that impacts you from a business perspective. In looking back at history, what I have been realizing is there's been some evolutions that have taken place. When we started adopting the internet, the world got a little bit smaller. We started communicating with people around the world. It was the first point that I could communicate with somebody overseas, and it's like they're sitting next door. They're my next door neighbor. We've brought in smartphones and cell phones. So for a lot of the people that have don't have good internet connection, they use their smartphones, and that incorporates, texting with people around the world. It gives them their internet. And blockchain is another evolution of that, because each one of these blockchain networks is a global network. And it allows, that network to communicate, globally without borders or without being centralized. And I think, centralization, decentralized autonomous organization. So do you want to explain what that is to our listeners?
Yes, so in a blockchain, you actually can do more than just store an account, such as transactions. Like, for instance, the first application on blockchain was Bitcoin. So if I send a message to money to you, then it goes directly from me to you. Well, this can be used for transactions, and you can put a program on blockchain. So now you can create what's called a smart contract. And that program can do many things. In the simplest way, it might be there to say, hey, my son should get my inheritance when I die. Okay?
Right.
If the blockchain identifies I'm dead, then he gets it. That's it. There's no, courts and all of the things we have to go through today. But you can also go much further than that, and you can have a company that is literally managed by smart contracts. Think about that. I mean, you start to take away that urge to, charge people an extra fee that maybe you shouldn't, and then starts to get out of hand by your managers. So it's really amazing what can happen now if you now that, like Ethereum, can put smart contracts, complete programs on the blockchain that get triggered by a transaction.
Right. And, that's one of the things that we're looking at in our project, here as well, is when we get into the second phase of this project for rewards.com,
Mm-hmm.
is, a lot of what we would typically centrally manage, which is the account management, the currency, your marketing data,
Mm-hmm.
all that will get moved to this decentralized blockchain, which is global based. So it gives consumers or merchants and programs access to a global community, gives a global community access to these merchants that are not in their country or region. So it's really great. So we're going to take a short break here at CEO Money. We'll be right back and continue our discussion. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you on this other side of the break. Welcome back to CEO Money with your host today, Todd Rowan. So we had an interesting discussion here about the cryptocurrency and the blockchain technology and kind of how it starts impacting us. And this is such a long conversation; it's really hard to do it, justice in such a short show. But I believe we have Gary Leland online. Were you listening to the conversation in the last segment?
Yeah, definitely was.
So what's your input on this?
Well, I think that your question earlier was, how is crypto or Bitcoin going to affect everybody or change the world or whatever you want to look at it? I think one of the major things people need to consider is banking. Now, a lot of people think crypto or Bitcoin is going to put the banks out of business. I think the bankers are pretty smart people, so I really don't think they're going to go out of business anytime soon. But I do think they're going to be affected a lot. An example is, if you transfer money right now, there are big transfer fees. For instance, on $500, to transfer $500, it would cost you like $35, and
Right.
It would take several days to do that. So the fees are high and the time period's high. Where last week someone transferred $1 million worth of Litecoin, and it took less than an hour instead of 3, 4, 5 days, and the fees were less than $10 on $1 million.
Right.
So that's a pretty drastic change in bank transfers or money transfers. Changing it to crypto and transferring to crypto.
Yeah, that definitely is. And that kind of brings us into our next topic here of talking about some of the myths in the cryptocurrency market. I watch the news every day, and I watch the talking heads put out their articles about this or that about cryptocurrency, whether it just doesn't have any basis, there's no backing, or it's this giant bubble, or it's all these other things. And I know, Dennis, you've been talking a lot about the myths in the market.
Yes, exactly. The fact that the cryptocurrency, and I get these questions from my friends and as well as people that attend presentations from disrupthub.io. And so the question is, well, I know that the U.S. dollar is backed by the U.S. economy, and our GDP, or some people actually still think, but it's a minority, that it's backed by gold.
Well, there used to be a day you could take your dollar into the Federal Reserve Bank and redeem it for gold.
Yes.
And they changed that, and they actually eliminated all the backing in 1971.
Nixon.
Where it is no longer backed by gold. It's only backed by the GDP, which is the consumer spending, the business spending, imports less exports, or exports less imports, and government spending. So that makes up your GDP, and that's what backs it. So essentially what you're carrying around in your wallet is a debt note from the government.
Okay, I might be a little not quite in sync with your perspective there, because we're $20 trillion in debt. Mm-hmm. So that would, if this were my bank account, my value would be a negative $20 trillion.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously nobody believes that about the United States dollar, of course, and rightly so. And I still think this is the greatest country in the world. But just going on that point, though, so let's go to stocks. I've also heard, well, the stock is backed by PE, the PE ratio. And so ExxonMobil has a 15 PE. That means when I buy a stock of ExxonMobil, I think it's going to grow 15 times in the foreseeable future. I really don't believe that. So how come we use these numbers? I believe that the same thing that backs cryptocurrency is what backs the U.S. dollar and what backs stock price. It's confidence. That's why. I have confidence that ExxonMobil, I might be wrong here, I think it's $76 for a share. I believe that the U.S. dollar is X amount compared to the Canadian dollar, and I believe that Bitcoin is worth $9,300 today. That's what I believe. I have confidence in that. And so the same thing backing them backs cryptocurrency.
Well, definitely I agree with you. Confidence whenever it comes to our U.S. dollar, because, obviously we're upside down in debt. So it is our confidence that drives our value and our currency. But my point, earlier was it's the economy that's built around the dollar is what drives the dollar. And that's really no different than the economy that gets built around a cryptocurrency. So what the cryptocurrency is used for, what it's spent for, how it interacts with consumers, and that full economy sets the underlying value and the basis of that cryptocurrency.
Yes, what we might refer to in the cryptocurrency world as tokenomics.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Bringing back to your earlier statement about how the internet is a new creation like the web or social media were built. I think that's where we are today. This idea of what is the economy around Bitcoin is that it's too early to tell. If you were to use an analogy, I would say right now, if we were thinking in web years, we're still in 1992, 1993. So we don't even have our Netscape Navigator browser yet.
Right.
The average person does not have a tool to use cryptocurrency.
But the adoption rate in this market is moving at lightning speed. So, the 10 or 15 years that it took to really adopt the web, we're seeing shrunk down into 5-7 years, with what's happening now in this market. So
exactly,
well, most
there's
people
an acceleration.
I know still don't use crypto. I mean, I find as many people now use crypto as in '96 when I started my first website that used the internet. I mean, I know very few people that, besides our circle, that we see all these people. If you go into the regular general population, I don't run into that many people that use crypto. They might know what it is now, but they aren't even sure about that.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely we've got a long ways to go for adoption. There's one of the interesting facts that, I found as I got into the market and I started understanding what's going on with the currency markets is I think one of the big benefits the cryptocurrency has is actually bringing in the unbanked into the economy where they can actually use the cryptocurrency, to buy their everyday goods, or economies that have completely collapsed, like South African economy, their dollars have completely, gone to kaput. So, they're moving into cryptocurrency, one to, save, their value, but they're also using it to, transact.
Exactly. I think we were referring before to what we call the network effect in terms of increasing the value of anything.
Right.
The U.S. dollar, for instance, is used everywhere, right? So of course that increases confidence. And Bitcoin doesn't have that same network effect, but okay, it's $9,300 at this low network effect. What does that tell me? That tells me that it has a high, potential, if not Bitcoin, other cryptocurrencies, but in general. So I think that this network effect increases the confidence and increases the use of it.
Well,
I think you have a good point there on the foreign countries. For instance, Venezuela right now, where inflation is over 4,000%. The last 2 months have been more Bitcoin exchanges in that country than any time in the past.
Yes.
Because of people trying to stay ahead of inflation.
That's right. We are U.S. citizens, again. It's something we mentioned on the first segment. We're U.S. citizens, so, we do have to open up our minds to the other countries, Zimbabwe, Venezuela, and Japan. Japan is very cryptocurrency friendly. The people in South India that lost the use of cash, and what we would call $1, $5, $10 bill, lost the use of that. They went to cryptocurrency. They're using it to buy milk, egg, and bread. Well, we're using it to like it's gold and silver.
Yeah, I see the cryptocurrency and the blockchain technology. It's really breaking down those borders, and it's really helping again make our world a little bit smaller and bring us all a little bit closer together to where we can all interact and transact with each other.
Exactly, global citizenship.
Yes, so it's an interesting market that we're in. We're getting ready to go to break here, but I want to let everybody know that our secret word today is going to be unicorn.
Unicorn.
So you can take that word and go into rewardstoken.io and enter it into the token dashboard, and you'll receive 500 rewards tokens for today. You can do that each day of the week. We'll give you up until the show starts next Monday to get all 5 of your words in. So if you didn't hear us live, you can listen to us at WFN1.com. That's WFN1.com. Welcome back to CEO Money. Today's host is Todd Rowan. I am here with Denis ONeil, Gary Leland, and Tony Cecala. Cecala. I'm trying to get that right here. Gary, you're on the line here. I know you guys are with Crypto Cousins, and you're here local in the Dallas community. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do in the community for us?
Yeah, that's at cryptocousins.com, and we run meetups. We have a meetup usually every month in Dallas, which Tony runs that one for Dallas people. We have one in Fort Worth that I take care of. We have in Arlington. We have a once-a-month crypto coffee, which people can find at Crypto Coffee or Morning Crypto, something like that. I don't even know where it's at. It's all in the cryptocousins.com.
Right.
But we are meeting up, doing a lot of meetups with people, trying to train them, teach them. A lot of people are coming wanting to learn how to set up their wallets. Tony, I'd say that's the number one thing we have people asking is how to set up their wallets.
That's the most important question.
Yep. How do I secure this stuff?
Exactly.
And how do I keep track of it? And I know it can be really confusing, for a lot of people when they're new into the market and understanding it. How do you walk them through this to actually understand what to do with their currency and how to secure it and maintain their funds?
Well, we tell stories.
Yeah, last week our show was on setting up their nano wallet. We did a whole hour podcast on that.
Right. So, that's one of the things that we realized when we started working on our project in rewards is, the consumers, are not really going to be able to manage and keep a wallet. So what we're doing, within our platform and program is we'll maintain, all the private keys and their wallet information as long as they have their currency within our ecosystem. So that gives them the ability to really utilize it in a friendly way, just like they would utilize their point reward currency or any other reward currency that they would receive. But once they learn how to set up their wallet and set up their nano or set up their exchange, then they can take it outside of our ecosystem into their exchange or Coinbase or to a cold storage wallet or wherever they want to take it.
Yeah, you're partnering now with Bob's Token, I believe, too, right?
We're
Repair?
Yeah, so Bob's, we're helping out Bob's Repair in providing some of our retail merchants that associated with home repair and home improvement, like Lowe's and Home Depot. So that's how we're working with Bob's Repair. We're also partnered with Rivets on security and token management, and then we've also partnered with Dash as well for providing anywhere the rewards token is accepted, the Dash currency will be accepted. Anywhere Dash currency is accepted, the rewards currency will be accepted. So we
Tony
did
a
bridge technology
Fred.
with him. What's that?
Tony and I interviewed Fred last week from Bob's Token and Bob's Repair, and he talked about that'll be on our show next Tuesday. But he was real happy with how that's working with Lowe's and Home Depot, and was telling us how it just sounds like a great combination, a great team to me.
Yes. There's some good guys over there. So, Denis, I know you also do work here in the community as well. You've got Disrupt Hub, which is a community support. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, exactly. And we also do meetups primarily to entrepreneurs that are interested in what is this ICO thing? Is this crowdfunding? Is this something that's cheap and fast and easy? Well, to do an ICO is not cheap and it's not easy. So
I can tell you it's certainly I can tell you 100% on both those points.
Oh yes, and I don't know. Todd might be the first. I don't know, but I have personally not met a CEO that has done an ICO that said, "Oh, I can't wait to do another one."
Yeah. This will be something I'll never do again. It is absolutely a brutal beating to try to get through this.
A beating.
And part of it is because it is so global.
Yes.
You can't just focus on. I'm a traditional U.S. C Corp guy. All the companies I've owned in the past have been U.S. C Corps, and you can't just focus on the local economy. So I'm talking to people all over the world all night long, 7 days a week, and it's just a brutal beating.
No, it is, and we appreciate it. But you've got to keep doing it because this is really the way of the future. And we appreciate when these ICOs get created. And as an ICO investor, I'm very happy you all just keep doing it. So
Well, there's great technologies and stuff that's coming out here, and we're very excited about what we're doing, but also some of the other projects that we see in the community. Hey, Tony, Gary, is there any particular projects that have caught your eyes lately?
Gary?
Well, actually, I kind of like Bob Stoken. That's why I was bringing it up.
Yeah.
I think that's a great concept. I mean, we had him on the show, and after talking to him, I thought that was a great concept of putting home repair on the blockchain so you can see price and everything's visual, and you don't have people coming in charging absorbent fees or making up. The thing I liked about it most was people couldn't make up their own comments about how good you were. I mean, because everybody knows that happens. On YouTube, half those comments probably are, or not on YouTube, but on Google, half those comments about how great a company is are probably done by all the people that work for the company.
Hey, Gary, we got to take a quick cut here. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. You've been listening to CEO Money, hosted by Todd Rowan and sponsored by Rewards.com and RewardsToken.io.